My microphone is broken, so I'm recording this from my phone. So there might be a little more noise, or the sound might be a little different. So if you hear anything that's different, that's why. Okay, I'm gonna get started right away. Okay, so confidence is something that we also find in our appearance. So for example, if you're a girl, if you did your makeup very pretty, like you did your lashes, you did like a little blush, concealer maybe, a little highlighter, maybe a little eyeliner, something that makes you feel, on point, like you're like the queen. And if you're a boy, that maybe when you did your hair very nice, or maybe also use like makeup, like concealer to cover up spots, maybe even like mascara, all those different things. And they give us a confidence. It can also be a new blouse that you bought, everything. And then you can walk into a room differently. Like when you know that you look good, you feel different, so you act different. It doesn't have to mean like that you treat other people differently, but it can be like, you step into a room and you own yourself, you own how you look because you love how you look, you know and that's the kind of confidence I want to get you in. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna do it with any objects or whatever. Like, I want to give you that confidence without needing to do your hair, without needing to put on your makeup, without needing perfume, without needing anything. Because you are good as you are. You are already perfect. It doesn't matter if you just woke up and, you look into the mirror and you're like, I don't look as good, Those moments, I have them too. And honestly, I prefer my face with makeup over my face without makeup most of the time. Personally, I do really like my face without makeup too. But with makeup, it's just like, it just adds that spice. And also, like, if I wear a really nice perfume, I also feel better. And the thing is, why would you feel less when you don't have that? Why? Because I don't see a reason. Look, you are put onto this world. The world has shown you this is what perfection is. And also, the beauty standard has changed so much. Like, for example, bodies. First, I don't know when, but I know first, thicker bodies were preferred. Because that showed how wealthy you were. Because you had a lot of food to eat. So that was the standard. And right now, it's to be super skinny. Like, really skinny. And sometimes unhealthy skinny. So, it always changes. And, look, love. What does it matter? Really. Because it's just a feeling that you get when you put on the makeup. If you, for an example, would have, let's go, opposite of the beauty standard. If you wear, baggy, dirty clothes, just, it's a little off, like a color combination that doesn't match. I'm gonna, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna pick a color match that I think doesn't match. That is yellow and red. Of course, in some certain combinations, it'll probably be nice, but like yellow and red, I don't think it really matches. But it's like my opinion, so yeah. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna take that. If I get the same feelings that I got from, wearing a pretty dress and doing my hair and doing my makeup and feeling all snatched, it's the feels that matter, because it's the way we look at things. That's literally what it is. So if we can change the way we look at things, we might be able to achieve those same feelings of feeling snatched and feeling nice and feeling good and feeling confident, feeling beautiful in something that we don't like as much, So look, I think it's more about personality than looks. That's what I think. And I always search to improve my personality and my inside rather than my outside. I don't really care about the outside. I do care about hygiene. I do. I care about skincare, although I forget it most of the times. So I need to do that better. But other than that, I don't really care, It doesn't really matter that much to me. But my inside does matter to me. And also, I want to share some things to improve who you are as a person. And then I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about the inside. Okay, so if you're in a situation and you don't really know how to handle it, or you handled it in the past or whatever, there's something you need to handle, think for a second. Don't just go do it, if somebody says, okay, will you do that for me? Don't just say yes and just do it without thinking. No, go think. Like, only for 5 up to 10 seconds you can think in every situation. And if it's a big decision, just say you have to go to the toilet or something. Go out of the situation, wait, and think, because that's the most important step to becoming somebody that you like more. Because for an example, somebody is asking you to go to the store and buy some apples for them, then you can think really fast. And of course, it might be a little difficult at first to think really fast, but if you practice more, you get better. So it's okay to not see everything. Think of everything in that 10 seconds at first. It will come. If you train your mind, it will come. Okay, so then you're gonna think really fast. Do I like this person? This is just an example. You don't have to follow this up. Do I like this person? Yes, you do. And then you look at the body language, the tone and everything. Is that person trying to use you? And why do I want you to do this? Well, if you want to become a better person, you have to change what you do. And just thinking is the best thing you can do. Because maybe your higher self would not get those apples. Because your higher self thinks, oh wait, they're actually saying this in a very rude context to me, you know? Or they're actually using me, and maybe before you wouldn't have noticed, because you would just be like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do this for this person because I want to be liked. No, honey, be a person on your own. You don't need to be liked. No, nobody owes you. I'm just gonna break to you. No, nobody owes you anything. You don't owe anybody anything also. Nobody is owing you that kind of validation. Nobody owes you. Nobody owes you anything. You gotta look at yourself. Are you happy with who you are? And that's the only thing that matters, really. If your friends gossiped about you, why would you go sit with them again? You don't have anybody else? Look, love. If you just continue to sit with them and they gossip about you, and you know that, then why would you go sit with them? You know better. And that's what you need to think. Because your higher self would not go sit with them, probably. Maybe your higher self would. I don't know how that looks for you. But personally, I wouldn't sit with them. My higher self would not sit with them. The person I desire to be would not sit with them anymore. Because they gossiped about me. So why would I go sit with them again? You know? No, I wouldn't do that. And then I go sit alone. Does it matter? I like me. So please, my love, think before you do something. It's the biggest thing that I can tell you, really. Think. Yeah. But back to the point. I want to make you feel that kind of beauty without having to do anything. Okay. The beauty standard I told you about, that changes. Okay. I want you to seek it in your soul more. And learn more about who you are. And once you know who you are and who your soul, what your soul is, how your soul is, I'm not sure, but I think you know what I mean. Once you know who you are, you're gonna see the beauty. You are. Because if you're so aligned with your soul, if you're so aligned with your mind, if you know who you are, you will see that you will not need that makeup. You will see that you will not need any validation from outside, you know? You don't need any jacket to make you look nice. You don't need any jewelry to make you look nice. You don't need any mascara to make you look nice. Doesn't matter. You can walk around in that yellow and red shirt and you're still beautiful. Look, babies, when they're born, they love themselves. It's the society that made us insecure. But we're so beautiful. And once you realize that you are beautiful, nobody's gonna take that away from you. If you really embodied it, because of course you can realize, oh, I'm beautiful. But if other people say you're not, and then you start to believe them, you haven't embodied it. So please embody it. And that's when you're gonna see the results. Okay, so I wish you so much luck with this, and I wish you so much love and joy and happiness. Bye. See you next time.